right, target's up.
Butts.
Target's up, please.
Look up. Stand by! Target's up!
Good.
You screaming little nit! Don't ever do that!
Do what?
Have you ever been here before?
No.
Now, just you listen. The moment we put these targets up, they start shooting, see? That's the rule!
Well, dear?
It's lousy. 46-2.
Well, that's not too bad.
It's
I mean, in
bad.
these terrible conditions. I saw Hugo. He's gonna fire in a little while. And you know something? He doesn't even feel this cold.
He's used to this damn weather.
Well, it gives the British an unfair advantage. Well, I guess the Australians hate it even worse than we do.
They can't hate it worse than I do. Where's Missy?
In the car, I hope. Poor child's freezing to death.
Well, we're all freezing. I'll go fetch her.
No, don't you do that. You let her stay there in the warm.
Yeah, but I promised that I'd go get her when Hugo was getting ready to fire.
Who did you promise? Her or Hugo?
It was Hugo, I promised.
I knew it. I thought that kind of marriage went out with Queen Victoria. Now there's two of you in a conspiracy to freeze the poor little kid to death.
No, dear, it's not a conspiracy. It's just that I made a promise to Hugo to go fetch her when he was getting ready to fire.
All right, I'll tell her.
Kath?
Now, don't you worry. She'll get the message.
Well, sure, but...
Open up, for goodness sake.
Hi, sister woman. My, your nose is certainly red.
Well, those men think that you ought to come out and get a red nose, too.
Which man?
Your husband and mine.
They want me with a nose like yours.
Well, I guess they do. Seems Hugo left strict instructions.
Pass them on.
Well, that you were to be fetched just as soon as he was getting ready to fire. But if I were you, honey, I'd stay right where you are.
Would you?
Right where you are. Watch Hugo all he wants when the weather's better, but, honey, stay out of this wind.
I'm coming.
Well, you don't have to.
Of course I have to.
You mean Hugo waggles his little finger and you come running?
Hugo doesn't waggle his finger. He sends a message. And I don't come running. I walk.
But you come out in this cold because he tells you to.
Of course I do.
Well, I thought I was old-fashioned, honey, but that's medieval.
You got used to a different power structure.
Uh-huh.
7 left. What? 7 left, Hugh.
You say so?
Beautiful. Thank you. done.
Great.
Could be worse. Are you cold?
What do you think, darling?
I thought you were sitting in the car.
I was, but I came to watch you. I always do.
Not a very interesting view of me.
I like any view of you.
Well, backside and boot soles.
You have a very expressive backside.
That was nice shooting, chump.
Thank you.
The name's Larry Peters.
Vardon.
Oh, Duke of Vardon, huh?
Archduke.
Well, hello there.
Hello, Larry.
I had the pleasure of meeting the Archduchess at the booth up yesterday.
Yes, I know.
Larry is on the Australian team.
Yes, so I gather.
How? Haven't got an accent, have I?
Not a trace, old boy.
Oh, well, neither do you, old boy. I'm not really on the team, just a reserve in case any of the other blokes get frostbite.
Just saw your score, Hugo. Great shooting.
Thank you, John.
This is Mr. Larry Peterson.
Peters.
Oh, you're pretty fussy. The guy with the red nose is my brother, John Hamill.
We met yesterday.
And the lady with the even redder nose is my gracious sister-in-law.
We met yesterday, and my nose is not red. It is a nice, healthy shade of pink.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Mrs. Hamill.
Why, thank you. Aren't you just perished in this cold, Mr. Peters? I mean, coming from Australia and all.
I once got locked in a deep freeze at home, but it was warmer than this.
Oh, well, we'll thaw you out this evening. Well, that is, if,
It's okay. I asked him to the party.
Did you indeed?
Well, that's just wonderful. Hugo and Melissa have the most beautiful house in England. And the warmest.
But he said he couldn't come.
Yeah, I had a kind of an arrangement to meet a cousin of mine and took over some family business.
Oh, that's too bad, isn't it, John?
Well, it's too bad. It's a house you all ought to see if you can.
Oh, you just call your cousin and fix to meet him another time.
It's a great temptation.
Well, I'd give into it if I were you. Wouldn't you, Melissa?
That's entirely up to Mr. Peters. He'd be very welcome if he shows.
Very.
Honey, if Mr. Peters has a date,
He'll break it, dear.
Well, honey, what if he can't?
Then he won't come to the party.
How very disappointing.
Yeah. It could be.
I bet your mine gets hit before yours does.
How much?
20p?
You're on.
I reckon I ought to go and see if my skipper's got something for me to do.
Now, don't you go catching pneumonia.
That's a risk we've got to take, Mrs. Hamill.
Well, I think you ought to curl up somewhere warm out of this wind.
Sounds like all my birthday's run to the water. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
How I loathe that colonial accent.
Oh, well, there speaks the old school tie. You know something, Hugo? I got news for you. Your accent sounds pretty funny to us, too.
Huh?
That's a very nice young man, that Larry Peters.
Don't doubt he's kind to his old mother.
Oh, next thing, I suppose you'll forbid Melissa to even speak to him or something.
Nah, Kathy, what Hugo says to Missy's no business of ours.
It is, too. Melissa's our kin. Your own flesh and blood. I think we have a right and a duty to be concerned about her.
Your loyalty does you great credit.
Oh, I don't claim any credit at all.
I don't believe it.
Honey, it's your battles I'm fighting.
I don't have any battles, Kath.
And we don't want any fights.
Well, I certainly hope not. Oh, I'm sorry if I spoke out of turn, but, you know, I haven't seen you people in 5 years. Well, you mustn't mind what I say, Hugo.
Must I not?
Oh, you must think I'm just a sentimental old hand, but I have to say what I think. I always did.
That's true.
And I think Melissa is young enough to have a good time and old enough to be sensible about it. And I think she can be trusted to pick her own friends. There, I've had my little say, and I won't breathe another word, except just to add that...
Kath, honey,
Yes, dear?
I'm gonna fire pretty soon. Are you coming along?
Of course I'm coming. I go with John because I choose to, not because he wiggles his little finger at me. Now, you remember what I say, yeah?
Well, you certainly did a turnaround.
Well, you thought I'd come here and start acting like a schoolmarm to Melissa. Well, Melissa was a naughty little girl, even at 23. But now she's a wife and a grown woman.
A wife, yeah. Hugo's wife.
I know you thought I'd come out here and just start raking up the past or something.
Well, I did because...
Because 5 years ago, okay. Well, everything's changed now.
And I am certainly happy that it has. And I am certainly grateful. Only...
Only what?
Missy was quite a handful. We did have ourselves a problem, right? But that's why I am so God almighty thankful that she married Hugo.
Well, I know you think Hugo's some kind of a god.
No, dear. Not precisely a god, dear. But a forceful personality, highly intelligent, tough, if you like.
Tough is what he makes things. Well, he can't change Melissa into a nun.
And you tried.
I know I tried. I tried too hard. I was wrong. I learned that. Now Hugo's got to learn it, that's all.
Hugo is her husband, dear.
Husband, not owner.
And I don't want you encouraging Missy.
And courage is exactly what I should. Courage is just what she needs.
What, to run wild?
To be herself, to stop being a spaniel.
With that Australian yesterday evening?
Nonsense.
Hey, John! Yeah. I'm coming.
Now, please, dear, don't you encourage Missy.
Good luck, dear.
I won't have you making eyes at some yob from the outback. It's undignified and it makes me look a fool.
I didn't make you look a fool.
Your friend Peter stops being your friend. He stops now. If you like him, don't sacrifice him. We've agreed very well for 5 years. Let's continue to agree.
Oh, hi, Mr. Peters. Still freezing?
Yeah, pretty near solid.
Now, you do promise to come to that party tonight.
I don't know.
Well, you have to come.
My cousin.
Oh, well, now, if you don't come, there won't be anybody else there Melissa's age. You can't let us down like that.
I really don't think I'd be very welcome.
Oh, now, I think I'm a better judge of that than you are. And I say you will. Now, you just come along now and tell your hostess yes. Honey, this is an errand of mercy. Now, here's your chance to save a life. The poor boy's arms and legs have fallen off from frostbite.
I'm only losing fingers and toes.
Well, you sit in the car if you want. I'm going to walk around for a while.
Now, don't you be ridiculous. You want to wind up with a red nose like mine?
Oh, I'd be proud to.
Oh,
Pretty warm in this cut.
oh, now that is a downright fib. Now, you go on. You just get in there. Get in there and sit down and thaw. And, Melissa, you stay right where you are, too.
Your sister-in-law is certainly a lady with a lot of horsepower.
A lot of power is right.
Yeah. Over your brother.
Over me until 5 years ago.
Oh, you live with them?
From age 8. Our parents were killed in a car wreck. So I had to go and live with them. There's no other place to go. It was terrible.
Why terrible?
Kath?
But she seems so...
Warm-hearted? I know, it's amazing. For the past 24 hours, we've had a love feast.
Why amazing?
For the past 15 years, we've had a battle. Anything I wanted to do, always no. Her mission in life was to see I had a lousy time.
But why?
She resented me, I guess. So I went away as much as I could. And then I married an Englishman.
How did you meet the Archduke?
He was a friend of Johnny's. They met in the war. Then they both had this rifle shooting bugs.
Oh, I've got it too.
I know. I mean, it's not eccentric. And then in the spring, in 1968, they had this match in Virginia. And Hugo came to stay in our house.
And you were there?
No. I was in New York. But I came home for Easter. It was just 3 days. Which was enough.
Well, I imagine he could make a pretty dynamic impression.
I'd never met anyone like him before.
That goes for me. You know, it makes me think of a Centurion tank and a Savile Row suit.
Armor-plated. A little frightening.
Then I see.
He'd just been divorced. He was very sad. Very, very lonely.
A sad and lonely tank is a new proposition to me.
It was for me, too.
How'd it go, dear?
44-3.
Very good.
Oh, we better go fetch Missy.
Don't worry about Missy. Larry Peters will fetch her when it's time to come watch.
You mean he's with her in the car?
Well, he was terribly cold, and she was terribly bored.
Kath, I don't think that was very smart.
For heaven's sake, John, two adult people sitting in a car?
Kath, did I ever tell you about the time that Hugo and I were in a nightclub in Brussels during the war?
No. I can't picture you in a nightclub, dear.
Well, Hugo had himself a little old gal, a nurse, an Irish gal. And one night, some guy, a Canadian, danced for a long time with Hugo's little nurse. He got kind of affectionate.
Well, isn't that what nightclubs are for, dear? Not that I've ever had any chance to learn.
Hugo didn't think so. Because he went right out there in the middle of that dance floor and he cut in. But instead of dancing off with his little nurse, he took this other fella outside, out in the street, and he damn near killed him.
Was he drunk?
He was not drunk. I never saw Hugo drunk. He does not get drunk.
Well, it was in the war.
For Hugo, the war never stopped.
Kids?
Less and less likely. Why aren't you married?
Well, I'm busy part of the time and lazy part of the time. Selfish all the time.
Having a good time all the time.
Yeah, but there's a lot of family pressure on me to settle down.
What does that mean? A nice little wife in a suburb of Sydney.
That's about the size of it.
Be very careful, my friend. Things don't always turn out the way you expect.
That sounds like the voice of experience.
Nothing turned out the way I expected. Some things were better.
You know, I've never seen this life of yours. I don't know. What do you do?
Nothing.
Don't you visit the cottages with hot soup and Bible tracts?
They already have soup.
Then you were liable to get pretty bored. Is that why his first wife left him?
She fell for someone younger.
Younger than her.
Younger than Hugo.
And he didn't like that.
They tore him to pieces.
You stuck him together?
I gave him his pride back.
So that's where it hurt.
If it ever happened again,
He'd suffer.
someone would suffer.
Well, it takes a rash man to tangle with a tank.
An armored tank with a big gun.
Should I come to the party?
You have an invitation.
I practically have a command.
Kath took a shine to you.
Do I come?
Do you want to?
You know I do.
I know.
And you know why?
Careful, Larry.
It just could be better if I didn't.
Possible. Everything's possible.
Hugo? Hi, Hugo!
Photo finish.
Hell spells, Hugo. Did that one go away, all right?
Of course it damn well didn't.
Blimey, you must have bribed this bloke.
And that's a magpie.
Could be.
Of course it is.
Bit of a doubt about the last indication on 3.
Marginal.
It's a magpie.
Number 3 challenges.
Butts. Right.
Number 3, you're challenged.
Right. Thanks very much. Outer confirmed. wrong with the man?
What's come over Hugo?
He goofed.
The result of the 54th renewal of the Tri-Club annual match. Third, the Mincing Lane Rifle Club, London, England, 1,118, 72. Second, the Rappahannock Marksmen of Virginia, USA, 1,134, 80. And the winners, the Blue Gum Club of Sydney, Australia, 1,137, 86.
What got into Hugo?
Nerves?
Hasn't got any nerves.
But he went completely to pieces. Lost us the match. G'day, George. Larry here. Listen, about tonight, is it okay with you if we change it to,
Yes, the same range. This is a personal reservation. 11 o'clock, 2 hours, 1 target.
I don't know about a marker, not at this short notice.
I'll bring my own marker.
Solo practice, Mr. Vardon?
No, if we come, there'll be 3 of us.
You want a telephone then?
Yes, I shall want the telephone.
I understand you made another reservation, Hugo.
Yes. I may shoot again tomorrow. I shall make a decision later.
Oh, depending on how you feel.
You could put it like that.
All alone, or will you be taking somebody else?
I think I shall be in the mood for company.
You certainly are a glutton for punishment, aren't you?
Yes. I have a high regard for punishment.
I can be trusted to behave.
I know you can.
I always do.
I know you do.
I always have.
I know you have. And I know why. If you were ever unfaithful to me...
You'd kill me. Look what I've done with my fingernail.
I want you alive and well.
You'd kill him.
It wasn't a very good time to make me angry, was it?
So you blew the match. Are you really blaming me?
Well...
I'm just pleading not guilty.
You're not pleading very hard.
I was throwing myself on the mercy of the court.
Well, the court lets you off with a caution.
Same old caution.
Same one. Last one. I should wear the sapphires.
I thought the pearls.
No. With that dress, sapphires.
How well Melissa does it. As to the manner born.
She's been well taught.
My dear Hugo, you can claim credit for her jewelry, but not for her popularity. She's the best hostess in the south of England.
Oh, I'll tell her you said so. She'll be so pleased.
She deserves all the praise anyone gives her. She's a great ornament to your life.
Yes.
Oh, my. Melissa has just about everything, doesn't she? Just everything. Oh, I'm so happy for her. Now, John, don't you look at me like that. I mean it.
Well, just what do you mean, Kat?
Nothing. She's just got a terrible lot to lose, that's all.
Melissa amazes me, you know.
Yes, she does spring surprises.
I had not thought such beautiful manners were highly regarded by the young. No doubt you will claim credit for those too, Hugo. Perhaps you are entitled to. But it is miraculous of her to appear to be enjoying herself so much when nobody else here is less than 20 years her senior. Oh. But I am delighted to see I am wrong.
What?
There is one young friend for her.
Oh, hi. I'm sorry.
Why?
Wrong clothes.
It really doesn't matter at all.
I phoned my cousin. Well, he'd been trying to get me all day and change our date to tomorrow, so it's all worked out fine.
I'm glad.
You don't look glad.
I might be gladder with less audience.
Shall we fix that?
I don't know.
Everything's possible.
Well, look who's here. Oh, I'm so pleased you could come.
Missy, I'd like to talk to you.
What is this, a kidnap?
Well, I'll get out of your hair. Wave us a flag when you're free.
No, I want to talk to you, too.
What do you want, ransom money?
Now, look here. We all know why Hugo went a little haywire out there this afternoon.
Yes, and he says it was all my fault.
Well, why does he say that?
Now, never mind what he says or who he blames.
But I do mind.
Yeah, I'm interested.
All right. The point is, he is sore.
Sore at losing, huh?
No, he is sore about what's happening.
What did happen?
Nothing happened.
Look, okay, I know that. But that doesn't alter the fact that Hugo is sore.
Hugo is acting like a spoiled child, and don't you pay him any mind, honey. And you old grouch, why don't you let these kids have some fun?
I ought to get back to the party.
Well, of course you have to get back to the party. Isn't she the perfect hostess? Oh, I'm so glad you could come. Now, you go on, get out of here, and let these kids have a good time. Take that long face somewhere else. Honestly, when a man loses a game and then starts to sulk about it, well, then...
What then?
Well, then he doesn't deserve to be taken seriously, does he?
Terrific party, Hugo. It's really great.
Well, I can still throw parties, even if I can't shoot.
Who says you can't shoot?
You do?
What? No, I don't.
Oh, why not? Everybody else does.
Wow, I don't think so, Hugo.
Then, as usual, you're wrong.
Well, I think you shoot very well.
Today?
Well, you were going great
until I lost the match for my club. You, I suppose, would never so grossly and totally collapse.
I never have.
No. Perhaps tomorrow.
No, I don't think so, Hugo.
You think you could beat me tomorrow?
Well, I guess that would depend on what kind of shape you were in. I mean, if you were sick or something.
What do you mean, whiskey or wife?
Either one, I guess.
Well, I could be suffering from both, but I'll still wipe the ground with you tomorrow.
Well, I don't believe so, Hugo.
Want to bet?
No, I don't want to bet with you.
I happen, by the purest chance, to have reserved that range tomorrow morning.
What?
I intended a little solitary practice, which you may think I badly need. Oh, this is a more amusing use for it.
Well, I still don't want to bet with you.
A fine thing he hasn't got the guts to put his money where his mouth is.
Hey, you two guys having a shoot-off tomorrow?
Yes.
No.
He assures the world he can beat me until offered the chance of doing so.
Oh, you're giving him a chance, are you, Hugo?
Yes.
And I'm not taking it. I fired enough today. I got different things to do tomorrow.
What things, dear?
Resting and staying in the warm.
Oh, my God.
Make a lot of moo here, Johnny.
All right, I could, but...
Well, then.
This guy was humiliated today. Just look at him. I don't think he ought to be humiliated anymore.
I thought you said Hugo never got drunk.
Well, he never did.
I've seen guys with concrete in their heads till the age of 50.
Are you whispering about me?
Only in the friendliest possible way, Hugo.
Oh. Well, perhaps your husband and I should whisper about you in the friendliest possible way. Perhaps we should compare notes.
Where's Melissa?
Invisible, I hope. Or in the middle of this mob of people.
I think I see your intention, dear. I think this promises to be very, very pleasing.
Thank you.
What happened to your model?
I ate it.
Oh.
If it's not a stupid question, what is this on the way to, Mrs. Vardon?
I can't remember.
It's a wonderful, wonderful thing for a woman to have a life of her own. A creative life all of her very own. And what unborn treasure lies hidden under here, Melissa?
I don't remember.
May I peek?
You can try.
Why, it seems to be dried right out. You have to keep your clay moist. But you have so much to remember, such a regular hive of creativity. Why, there's Dorothy. Yoo-hoo, Dorothy. She looks older than Grandma Moses. Come, Oscar, we've got to go and talk to Dorothy.
I ought to talk to Dorothy, too.
Why Dorothy?
I ought to talk to everybody.
We'll go and refuel. Excuse us, Mrs. Vardon.
Just
I ought to go.
I never guessed at any of this.
Gave up pottery, and I took up sculpture. And I nearly cut my thumb off. So I gave up carving, and I took up photography.
And you can't cut your thumb off with a camera. That's a lot of equipment. A lot of money's worth.
Oh, yes, he spends.
I begin to understand. Whose idea was all this?
Oh, it was a good idea, Larry. It was my fault none of it worked.
A way to keep you out of mischief.
No, better than that. Be fair. It's a way to keep me happy.
And none of it worked. He tried all these things, he spent all this money, and none of it worked. Did you think you would let somebody else try?
You're forgetting. The tank, the armor plate, the big gun.
The armor plate is cardboard and the gun shoots blanks.
A few hours ago, you were scared of him.
Yeah, well, you told me I should be. I believed you. I don't believe you anymore.
What changed your mind?
He did. You know what he is, Aunt Duchess? He's a bad loser.
I guess he is.
You can't be scared of a bad loser. Give me a chance.
No. Not now.
Later.
I'm still scared of him.
Do you know what you are? Hmm? Do you know what you are? You're a poltroon.
You can use any words you want, Hugo.
I'll think of some others when my brain's clearer. Some fanciful synonyms for yellow.
Hey.
Synonyms for cuckold.
Hugo, I don't like this.
And do you not? Then perhaps we should have that friendly whisper we promised ourselves. Perhaps we should compare notes about your wife.
You are asking to get slugged.
Oh, would you hit a man when he's down?
Stand up.
I doubt if I can, old boy. No. Let's fight. Let's talk. Let me ask you a diverting riddle. Why, in the last 5 years, have I never revisited your house? I've been in America a score of times, and in Virginia, but never to your house. Am I avoiding temptation or the fury of a woman scorned?
Damn you.
Another conundrum. Why does your wife feel able to say anything she likes, both to me and about me, on the basis of a few days' friendship? Why does she assume the privileges of an intimate friend? or a mistress.
You're drunk.
In vino veritas.
Is that true? You and Mrs. Husband, my friend?
Melissa's husband. Lady Bountiful. Seeing her here was all I needed.
All you needed for what?
To blow the cork right out of the bottle. All those years, Melissa was the beauty. Melissa had the fun while I did all the work. Melissa had the parties and the admiration while I had the house and the kids and you to look after. And you were getting old and dull.
Ah, go on now, you started you.
Hugo came, all broken up over his ex-wife. But Melissa was away. Kids were off to school and you were busy. You said look after him. That's what I did. I looked after him real good. I had him to myself for a week. A whole week.
My friend.
And after that 1 week, Melissa came back. Well, now you know.
All right, my answer's yes.
Ah. What do you bet?
Well, whatever you like. $1,000?
Hardly worth going all that way in the cold for it. Mario, find a Mr. Larry Peters and ask him to come here, would you?
Yes, sir. What do you want him for?
Symmetry, old boy. A pretty pattern.
Excuse me.
You know, you ought to give me a chance to prove to you tomorrow that I'm not such a bad shot.
I don't need any proof.
Have a little bet. Go on. Have a little bet just for fun.
Fun, Hugo.
Well, there's fun and fun.
There's bets and bets.
And I don't bet.
Join us tomorrow, and I'll bet you, just for fun, that lighter against...
Against what, Hugo?
My wife. They're both second-hand. One's expensive. Now, slightly shop-soiled. Both useful, I suppose, for our physical indulgences. I put them at about the same value. Gold-plated, with base metal underneath. At the heart of the mechanism, there is a flint.
God, I used to admire this drunken loudmouth.
I never did.
No? Then you'll join our match tomorrow, hmm? You'll take my little fun bet.
Yeah, damn right I will.
Splendid. Well, we must arrange all the details. Order of shooting.
As you like.
It's all just as I like. The best place to fire will be last. Hmm?
Go last. Who the hell cares?
No, that's not what I mean. Not what I mean at all. No. Now, you're a reserve, a beginner. You'd better go last. We can afford to be generous, don't you think? You can start in the butts. Will you start in the butts, Mr. What is your name?
Yes.
Good. You and I can toss a coin. Have you got any coins?
I will have plenty.
How lovely for you.
So, you've made them.
Made what?
Your arrangements.
Yes.
What is this for, Hugo?
Fun. Melissa? Melissa, I said things I regret, things I didn't mean. I can understand your rage and your silence, but I did not mean what I said. You must understand that everything that happens tomorrow depends on you now. There's still time. You can still stop it.
Where's the guy?
Hugo!
Come in.
Not coming, darling?
No.
Oh, you're missing all the fun. Good morning.
Good morning.
You'll go straight to the butts, then?
Yes, as arranged.
By the way, we'd like to break the rules a little this morning, if it's all right with you.
Yeah?
In this wind, we'd like the target up for 2 minutes before we fire.
Yeah, well, that's okay, just as long as you tell me when you're looking and when you're shooting.
Well, that's what the telephone is for. Oh, one more thing. You'll doubtless find a beer can lying about in the butt somewhere.
Yeah.
Would you mind putting it up on the bank behind the target? Hmm?
I see. You've got a little side bet going, huh? Hmm?
It's very childish, but it's another 10 grand.
Really?
And speaking of bets...
Ours is on.
Of course it's on. I want a lighter.
How does Johnny look?
Well, he's a little green. The Archduke surprised me.
Oh, I thought he might.
Yeah, after last night, you know, he's entitled to look like human wreckage.
And he looks like...
A Centurion tank and a Salvador suit.
Grim.
Oh, he's a smiling tank. A happy tank.
Normal rules, cider and 10 rounds?
Right, yeah.
Smiling?
Especially when he reminded me about the bet.
He smiled then.
He isn't worried. He doesn't seem to mind.
He doesn't mind losing.
He doesn't seem to mind losing you.
He's not losing me.
That depends how he shoots.
You saw that house. You saw those sapphires I was wearing. Can you imagine me living in a house on the edge of Sydney?
We can live where you like.
I do live where I like.
I can't compete with that house. I can't compete with those sapphires. But I do love you.
For a nice girl, that would be enough.
Hello?
Don't forget what we arranged.
Yes, target up, but no firing down when you ring me and up again for real.
And the side bet?
The beer can. Yeah, we'll do it. There's a nice one handy. I'll stick it in the middle of the hole.
I'll move the can. They can't see me.
All yours, John.